Development is a process of growth and changes that people go through in life. Characteristic and developmental tasks. Prenatal stage
forms into three layers. The upper layer is the ectoderm. This later develops into the epidermis, which is the outer layer of skin, nails, teeth and hair, as well as the sensory organs and nervous system. The lower layer is the endoderm. This becomes the digestive system and respiratory system. The middle layer is the mesoderm. This develops later than the other layers. It becomes the dermis, muscles and skeleton, as well as the circulatory and excretory systems. Stage 3 of prenatal development is the embryonic stage. In this stage, implantation is occurring. This is where the blastocyst buries itself like a seed in the wall of the uterus. It will now be referred to as the embryo. At this stage, all of the major organs form. Stage 4 of prenatal development is the fetal stage. This is split up into 3 trimesters. In the first trimester, the process of developing small features starts. This includes fingers, fingernails, eyelids, and eyebrows. In the second trimester, hands and feet fully develop. Eyes can open and close. The fetus can hear and breathe in and out with their lungs. Hair and sweat glands also develop. In the third trimester, the fetus is about 30 to 35 centimeters in length and 2 to 3 kilograms in weight. By the age of 32 to 34 weeks, the fetus supposedly has gained viability. This means that if they were born now, they could survive. And at the end of these 4 stages, at about 40 weeks, a baby is born, and they are now referred to as a newborn.
Infancy stage from birth to 12 months.
Earliest period of childhood, crawling rather than walking.
Stage 1. Infancy. Infancy is one of the most rapid stages of growth. The infants tend to grow very quickly in a short amount of time. Physical development. By 2 to 4 months, they start to learn how to grasp objects. By 6 to 8 months, they start to learn how to crawl, and some even walk during this time without assistance. Mental development. Infants start to show discomfort by crying. By 2 to 4 months, they learn how to coo or babble when spoken to, and by 12 months, they can understand many words. Social development. Infants start to learn how to communicate with others, it being other infants or their caregivers. Emotional development. Newborns start to show excitement. By 4 to 6 months, they start to show distress, delight, anger, and other emotions are being shown. Needs and cares. Infancy is one of the most delicate of all stages. Infants require the most attention. Examples are changing their diaper, feeding them, bathing them, and napping them.
Childhood, 2 to 6 years old.
In the brain of a newborn child, neurons rapidly begin connecting. And while this continues forever, most of it is complete by age 2. This is the basis of early childhood development. ECD spans from the moment of conception until the beginning of primary school and encompasses 4 areas: physical well-being, health and nourishment, cognitive development, memory and IQ, linguistic development, a child's vocabulary and ability to read and write, socio-emotional development, a child's perseverance and ability to work with others. This is ECD. We already know.
Middle childhood, 6 to 12 years
So
old.
what is middle childhood? Middle childhood refers to the stage between early childhood and adolescence, usually defined as ages 6 through 12. During this critical period, your child will go through significant cognitive, emotional, and social development. Cognitive development refers to mental processes like thinking, memory, and decision-making. During middle childhood, cognitive developments include conservation of thought, the understanding that something stays the same in quantity even though its appearance changes, and abstract thinking, the ability to imagine things not seen or experienced, and asking more questions about life and the things around them. and a sense of perspective, capacity to think about what they are feeling and how others perceive them. Emotional development during middle childhood is extremely complex and is marked by identity formation, defined by your child's sense of self, which develops as they explore their talents, goals, and life experiences, and self-esteem, how they evaluate their own self-worth, and emotional regulation, beginning to recognize that how they think can affect how they feel, and a greater ability to identify, express, and manage their emotions, and an understanding that not all emotions should be expressed externally. Social development refers to your child's ability to form positive relationships. In middle childhood, they will experience changes in these 3 areas. Family. While reliant on their family relationships to function, they're also becoming more emotionally independent. As they enter early adolescence, they appreciate a need to have more privacy and independence. Peer. More interested in same-sex peer groups, around ages 10 to 13 will begin to befriend opposite-sex peers and place greater importance on peer relationships as they get older. Sexual. Questions start to arise around changes in the body related to puberty and what sex is. As children reach adolescence, they may show interest in dating and entering relationships. As parents, it is very important to remember that middle childhood can be a challenging period and that your child needs your support. Here are a few tips to keep in mind. Compliment your child for well-thought-out decisions. Engage in discussions on a variety of topics and current events to promote thinking and to foster a desire to learn new things. Create a safe space where your child can share their emotions. And encourage them to come to you with their questions or problems, no matter what they are.
Learning physical skills necessary for ordinary games. Adolescents 13 to 18 years old.
Adolescence. The word adolescence comes from Latin word adolescere, which means to grow. The range of adolescent spirit is not rigid, and there were wide individual differences. However, a broad estimate for universal applicability with regard to the span of adolescence, the adolescents can be referred to as teenagers. Physical development during adolescence. Growth and development reach to its peak, and human body finds its final shape. The maximum limit regard to increase in size, height, weight is achieved. Increase in motor activities grow in both inner and outer organs reaches its maximum. Social development. Social development undergoes the same change as physical and mental development during this stage. In adolescence, the child becomes conscious of his or her sex. On the other hand, the social distance between boys and girls widen, and on the other, they are attracted to each other. Emotional development during adolescence. During this stage, emotion is not consistent. They experience violent and intensive current of emotion. The adolescent child remains very anxious and dense in his spirit. It is the period of lightening of all emotion like anxiety, fear, love, anger, etc. Intellectual development. As to the intellectual development, there is great awakening, but it does not show the same positive acceleration found in physical trait. In this period, they are like to be challenged and they can learn abstract.
At this stage, people seek to create relationships that have a mature quality to them. Gender-based roles for the society are achieved, and there is a gradual acceptance of one's personal physique and how to use it to their advantage. And emotional independence from the family is also achieved. During this development stage, there is a movement toward planning out the aspects of one's life. A priority is set on defining what will be desired in a future companion, which may include marriage. Family life becomes a priority on a group level instead of on an individualized level. Preparing for a career is part of this stage as well. Individuals will set ethical values for themselves to guide their behavior and create an ideology that can lead them toward their goals. The
Early adulthood, 19 to 30 years old.
as settling down. A mate will be selected and people learn to live with their desired partner. A family may be started and raising children becomes a priority. The focus of this stage is ultimately to create and then manage a loving home environment. There will also be an emphasis on furthering one's career while looking for volunteer, civic, or political responsibilities. Many will seek to find a welcoming social group that reinforces the comfort that is
Early adulthood, 19 to 30 years old.
at home. Fifth stage is middle adulthood, ages 30 to 60. This developmental stage is about establishing an economic standard of living and then being able to maintain it. Children are generally in their teen years at this stage, which gives parents a priority in shaping their perspectives during their own developmental stages. Leisure activities become adult-oriented instead of kid-oriented. Civic and social responsibility is achieved. Relationships involve one spouse or partner just as much as they involve personal attitudes. There are adjustments made for physical and psychological changes of middle age, while
Late adulthood, 60
Age
and
of old
older.
age is typically defined as being age 65 and older. What we often don't want to think about until the years are upon us is how aging will affect us. With a decreased respiratory system, aging adults are more susceptible to being out of breath, not having enough oxygen and gas exchange, and they're more susceptible to respiratory infections. Circulation issues can often lead to either high or low blood pressure issues. Mobility in the colon may cause an issue of digestive and gastrointestinal system, which may cause us constipation. The body's calcium is being depleted, which leads to greater bone density and may cause osteoporosis. Since strength usually peaks in our 20s, our aging adult strength can greatly diminish unless we practice good exercise.
Is a late maturity, ages 61 and over. In this stage, people encounter a decreasing level of strength and personal health. Retirement activities become a priority, with many needing to adjust to a lower level of monthly income. Some may eventually need to cope with the death of a partner or spouse. There is a priority during this stage to join specific affiliations that are associated with age. Changing civil and social obligations occur as there is a greater need to accept the help of a caregiver as time moves on. At some point, developing a satisfactory physical living arrangement becomes necessary. This arrangement may require evolving supports as an individual continues to age.